Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So we're clearly prepared for something a little different today, but it's the continuation of yesterday's September Stash Smash, where I essentially set up for a boiled book to use up a bunch of papers that I had. And so today we're gonna unwrap them together now that they're, done. They boiled, they've done their thing. So let's unwrap them. So I used some rusty cogs that you can see on the top here, as I always do, to create these grungy boiled books. The pages are still wet. And we'll take all the plants out as we go here. So let me see what side the fold's on. That side. Okay. I don't really like wearing gloves when I do this, but I'm going to try. I'm probably going to end up taking them off. I was just wearing them because I put all the metal pieces away, the rusty metal. So yeah, I think I'm going to take them off. I can't really deal with wearing these gloves when I'm doing this. It makes me feel like I'm going to break the paper because I can't feel it with my hands. And this doesn't stain my hands too badly, so it's fine. So these are the roses. We're just going to roll them up off of here. And already you see those nice carbons, the carbonized marks. We got nice yellow from the center. And you can see some of the petals. I need a rack to put this on. Give me one sec. Actually, I don't need a rack. I just remembered the way that I do this. I sort of have to set it up a little differently. So move this to this one side, and then we lay them on the existing rack. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So, page 2. Yay. See how roses are like the old, reliably wonderful printing material? They always leave marks. Okay. I've got lots of yellow. It's from those marigolds, probably. I'm guessing we're going to come across a marigold. Yep. Just going to use them to kind of the whatchamacallits, the roses, to roll up the seeds of the marigold. Although I don't get too emotional about seeds getting left behind, because like when the paper's dry, you can just literally brush anything off of it that like was on it. This is almost a pansy colorway. Look at that. Okay. These little purple flowers. They left some of their nice purple behind. The house is so quiet. My kids are watching a movie on Netflix with their dad. Those turned out really nice. Okay, there's the fern. So I got fern marks. You can see that. And then here, oops. Yep, you can see the fern leaves. That's good. And then the little pink petals. One thing I like about boiled books is like they always turn out different than the last time. Like it all depends on the flowers that I find. That was a dahlia. There's that rose middle. We got good leafy prints. Probably could have thrown more leaves in here. I didn't have as many leaves as I normally do, but that's okay. There's always leaves. Roses create really good background pigment for printing leaves. That's a piece of those mushrooms that got in there. I thought I got it all out. We are still processing the mushrooms. We started dehydrating my taki yesterday, and we're still going. There's lots to do. Alright, so that is the first stack. And this one, got a circle there from the cog. You can see the rusty mark around it. It's good. And I've handled the papers quite well. I didn't get any tearing so far, which is good, including on my ties. I didn't tie everything too tight. So here's the geranium and the seeds. Let's see if I can just pick up all this. We've got nice black marks from the seeds. Didn't get them down here though. You needed that yellow to mask them, I think. It's a really nice way to have seeds to plant for more marigolds, is to cut the bottom off like that, and then all the seeds are in there. These are all seeds. I keep seeds every year from marigolds because I grow them to make dye. You can just actually dry them, like dry the petals, and that's how you make a yellow dye. There's lots of nice natural dyes that you can make. Inks and dyes from, you know, plants, some very reliable plants like black walnuts. Get a nice rich brown to olive dye from black walnuts, depending on your tannin. Ooh, that big flower. And they're those nice pantry staple dyes that you can, you know, have year round in your dye. If you have dry dye jars like I do. Okay. This one turned out nice. That was the amaranth, I think. These really nice rose petals. These ones are really like veiny. I don't know if you can see the veins. Sorry, I know it's kind of out of focus, but you see the veins in the petal? I apologize, my fingers are all grubby, but you guys know why. Okay. Very nice. Another thing I like about the boiled books is the darkness, the depth that you get around the edges and in the folds, because it's where the solution settles, right, when you're boiling. Little pink petals, left some nice pinks and purples behind. The yellow that those petals created. The petals picked up some of the marigold, but also these light purple petals, like I find white and light purple, any kind of a lighter rose creates this yellow shade for me consistently. As well as purple, and like I get those two colors that come, like, see, here's a good example where you see both the yellow and the purple. Just kind of bring it up, because I know the light's a little dim in here right now, but we did get some nice pink from these little tiny, these were tiny little roses. and the sensitive ferns. I just have a little compost bucket next to me, if you're wondering where I'm throwing all these things. This is a smaller bundle. This one had nice contact with the cogs, so it's got good rusty marks on it. And it's darker, of course. Picks up all the iron. I've had requests for me to sell this paper, and I may do that at some point. Right now, with the tariffs and everything, it's just not really worth my time, to be honest, to try to sell paper, like a lot of paper. I don't know. If I did a big batch of it, I could probably make it worth it, but I don't know. Well, that was a little bit of that mushroom, and it left a nice mark. Okay, last one from this batch. More roses and rose leaves. Oh, we got a nice little mirror image on this one. It's like a little butterfly almost. It's kind of cute. Okay, another bundle. Good rusting on the outside. Be a little difficult to see which way they open. There we go. Okay, so that's the marigolds. Seeds. Like I said, I'm not going to obsess about getting like all of it off, because once it's dry, it's so easy to just brush right off. And the paper's stable again, right? When it's dry, and you don't risk like rolling it up on itself. Very nice colors. Oh, it looks so pretty. I can see the leaf right through there. Oops. Come back. Oh, that one's really nice. It's very light. Like the colors are bright, which, you know, you don't always get a lot of bright in a boiled book because of the, especially when you're using iron, because you get a lot of blacks and but I just use iron on the top of my paper. Like I lay these heavy cogs down that I got at a flea market, and oh yeah, look at all those. This is where I took the geranium seeds and those yellow petals, and I just kind of sprinkled it all around instead of keeping them whole. Really cool. Let's do one more little wipe and then I'll call it a day. And that can be dealt with when it's dry. Dahlia, amaranth, and then little rose petals. Gorgeous. Okay. And after I get this done, I'll put all these in my paper dryer so they'll be nice and dry tomorrow. These are actually for a specific project. For my Patreon subscribers. Who receive journals from me. This will be one contributor to our September theme of the Boiled Book of Nature. So this will be some of what you can expect in your shipment in October from the September theme. Okay. Next. Oh, yum. Look at that. That is often the result of a birch leaf. If you are wondering, those dots, when you eco print, if you want dots like that, birch leaves, they do that. I should do a whole dyeing example on birch. So I love the little swirls I got. These were the hydrangea. So, you know, the color, this color boiled out into this and left these beautiful little swirls behind. Let me bring it up close for you to see the details. So there's the speckling of the birch, and there's the swirls of the hydrangea. Pretty fun. More hydrangea. And I had never tried hydrangea before, so I wanted to give it a whirl, and it went pretty good. Can't complain. These were little light purpley blue flowers. They left some ghosty impressions, which is cool. They didn't emit a lot of color, but thankfully, because there was already, you know, iron and color in the pot, you get the ghost impressions, and the hydrangea did serve them a little bit of color as well. I'm seeing a bit of the blue and the purple. This one was a whole one, and I wanted to see if I could get the impression, and it did leave the impression mostly on this side. It's very visible. It's cool. Okay, 3 more to go. I like watching videos like this myself. Hopefully you guys do too. I like just watching things be revealed. I'm going to be doing some eco dyeing with mordanted fabric with the Beaver Scouts that I work with, and they're going to get to reveal their work to the older kids during our Halloween party, and I can't wait. It's going to be fun. That's nice. I think they're all going to be so surprised that they just, all they did was put leaves between, you know, in a fabric sandwich, and wow, look what it did. Probably could do a boiled book with them at some point too. Although that might be for some older kids. We'll see. Might be kind of fun to do like a stone soup kind of theme. Talk to them maybe for Thanksgiving. That might be fun. About stone soup. If you're not familiar with stone soup, it's sort of like, you know, a community puts a little, like one person brings a potato, one person brings an onion, like, you know, everybody in the town, like they don't have a lot of food, but when they come together as a community and they all pitch in and they make their soup, they have a wonderful, large, flavorful soup with many different vegetables, and yeah, it's good. There's another of those rose middles. Lovely color here. Every now and then I think I get obsessed looking at the marking, like the marking on that's really cool, and then I fail to see the rose petals that are there. I often leave them behind and then I end up like rolling them off after it's dry, but I do try to get most of it. At least the big stuff. The little seeds are easy to deal with. I also love how when you put something on one piece of paper, it continues to ghost through each piece of paper. Oftentimes when you're eco-printing fabric and you don't want that kind of ghosting between like pieces, like if you're doing a rolled fabric and you don't want the ghosted image all the way down the length of the fabric you're rolling, you want to put plastic wrap in between, because the plastic will stop, right, the two sides from touching. So that's a way to protect your cloth from having the ghost impression. I usually don't, though. I love what's produced with just nature, you know. But I have done some patterns where I've been focusing on creating like a repeating symmetrical kind of pattern, so I do need to use the plastic, but I use the same piece of plastic over and over again. It's like a thicker pool lining kind of pool liner plastic I thrifted, so I don't use like saran wrap or whatever. You can use saran wrap though, but again, you can reuse it. Usually it's totally fine to reuse. It stands up to heat, so. Okay, that's that one. My fingernails are going to be all dirty. That's okay. You may find when you do this you want to wear gloves, but for me it's delicate. Like I don't want to tear the paper, and I want to be able to feel that I got everything off. Okay. Second last bundle here. We got nice grid marks on this, and that's because in the bottom of the pan that I boil in, I have a metal rusty rack that I lay everything on, because I find if you lay the paper directly on the bottom of a pan, there's a good chance when you're boiling it gets too hot and it can burn your paper. I have had that happen. It wasn't catastrophic, but it did create a hole in the first couple sheets of paper, and it was a burn hole, so other things you want to watch for, obviously, when you're doing a boiled book, when you're, you know, putting it on your stove top, especially if you're indoors, you want good ventilation. You want to make sure none of the plants you're boiling are poisonous. So, like, most flowers themselves aren't poisonous, like, through steam they can create. Unless you're dealing with something very unusual, I would say you're fine. Like, I wouldn't boil the flowers from, like, the castor bean plant, because I know that's a poisonous plant, like quite a poison. I wouldn't boil like poison ivy leaves, anything that I know is a poison, right? But on the most part, the flowers I use are like from grave sites, because I get them out of the graveyard compost. If you weren't aware, I do have permission to do so. And then obviously I also pick like small bits of wildflowers, and I do grow some flowers that I dye with. The other things to watch out for, you know, is obviously it's hot, so watch it like you would a boiling pot of anything. And don't let it dry, because that's going to smell terrible, and also it's, you know, hazardous, right? You're burning a pan, and that's never good. And just wait for things to cool. Don't carry a heavy pot of hot water anywhere. Those are those red, what are those called? Are they geraniums? Geraniums, I think? The red geraniums? I can't stand how, like, I don't like how they look or how they smell, but I love how they boil. They're amazing. This is maybe what they were destined for, to create beautiful paper. I think they're an inexpensive flower because a lot of people plant them and have them in their gardens and in their, especially in the annual kind of planters that you see sold at like grocery stores and stuff. There's those, and then those bell-shaped kind of flowers. I don't like those ones either. They're kind of like the most common flowers, and maybe that's why I don't really like them very much. What are they? No, not petunias. I can't remember what they're called. It's so funny. I don't know. When I'm adverse to like a flower or a plant, like I don't ever know the name of it. Like I'm avoiding it so much. It's weird. Those are so nice though. So yeah, the humble geranium, it does its thing. So this was more hydrangea, and I think that was, I don't know what kind of leaf that was. That might have been hydrangea leaf. Yeah, it was. Came off the same plant. All right, one to go. I almost don't want to be done. I enjoy doing this so much. Okay. Perfect. Oh, nice. Speckling, yay. And those are actually the leaves from the roses. Those big leaves. Fern. Okay. Nice fern mark on there. The roses really are responsible for creating that mark because they act as a colorant, and then the fern acts as a mask. Amaranth and rose petals, the red rose petals, giving us those nice deep purples and blacks. Got the amaranth stem, that's nice. You see the red roses, they really do a beautiful job. And that was just one gnarly kind of dead, you know, red rose. But ooh la la, it made beautiful, beautiful color. Reddish purple and yellows from the, I added just one of those light purple. And like, look at that. That might be my favorite piece thus far. Amaranth. We did get the stem. That's nice. Try to like include stems when I can, because they always look really specifically botanical, you know? So kind of know what you're looking at. Same with the fern, like it gives you that botanical feel, not just the shape of the leaves or the petals. It's best to do a mix, to be honest, of stemmed things, leaves, and flower petals. These almost remind me of apples. The colors are just awesome. beautiful. I think I'll probably scan these into digitals. Because I know not everybody has access to plants. And sometimes I think it's also possible that you just, you quite fall in love with a certain pattern that you see. Like maybe it's these little stems, I know I've made paper, like my rusty carbonized paper, where I've just fallen so in love with the print that I got that I've scanned it and I've printed it because it's just, I love the pattern. Okay. Last sheet, and it's another fern. Okay. All right, I gotta go and wash my mittens here. So that was the boiled book reveal. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed. And I will talk to you all very soon. Have a great day. Bye for now.